This past weekend, the NASCAR Cup Series kicked off their 2023 season out in Daytona. It was a good race. I will talk more about that in a minute. But this weekend, they're packing everything up and heading out west to race at the Auto Club Speedway in Southern California in Fontana. And this will be the last time they race here on the 2-mile oval unless something changes drastically, which I highly doubt. And they're going to take a year off in 2024 and pick up in 2025, but with a new layout, a short track layout. And it's going to be the last race here, and so hopefully it's a good one. But I'm going to be doing a pick 5 contest for this race. Same rules as always. Comment down your top 5 below. 5 for 5, you get an autograph of your choice. And if you go 4 for 5, you get an unsigned hero card. But I'm also giving you all my picks. But like I said, though, this weekend in Auto Club, going to be very fun on the final race of the 2-mile oval. A lot can happen. Last year was chaotic. Hopefully the same this year. On to the intro we go.
Hey, it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. here at Kroger, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
This past weekend in the Daytona 500, we saw Mr. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. getting the job done there. It took a while, but he finally did it. And what I mean by that, he finally won a race with JTG Daughtery Racing, which is owned by, obviously, Jody and Tad Geschecter, longtime owners in NASCAR, but also co-owned by NBA legend Brad Daughtery. Brad Daughtery has always been hands-on with the ownership deal, traveling to many races, and also broadcasting many races for NBC. And this happens to be the one race where he does not attend, and they go to victory lane. Kind of sad to see that he's not there, but it's still pretty cool to see the whole team finally winning, because they have came so close many times. Last year in Dover, and in 2021 on many occasions. And they nearly won the Bristol Dirt Race that year in 21. Stenhouse got beat on a overtime finish by Ryan Blaney at Talladega one year. He's came close. And for him to finally get it done, this is a big stepping stone for him and that whole organization. They're now in the playoffs, and who knows, they can go out there this year and without anything to lose, like, I don't know, last year they probably thought about it too. They can go out there and try different strategies. Maybe at the end of the race when there's a late caution, while teams are taking 4 tires, they can take 2, vice versa. A lot can happen. This one win can go a long way, and it can make your decisions down the road a lot easier to make, if that makes sense. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is the winner of the 2023 Daytona 500, and he's in the playoffs. And will he do good in Auto Club? Time will tell. But now to the picks we go. This weekend in Southern California, in Fontana, we're going to see a phenomenal race, in my opinion. I believe the Hendrick Motorsports camp, who was very quick in Daytona, but they kind of struggled to be up front on the Sunday part of things. Like, you had Alex Bowman on the pole and Kyle Larson up front. They were up there for most part of the day. But your Chase Elliott's and William Byrons, where were they? 50% was struggling. And I believe, though, that issue will be solved. They were quick in practice and all, but race pace wasn't so there. But I believe in Auto Club, things will turn around for at least one of the 4 drivers. And one of the 4 will be Kyle Larson. I believe he's going to go to Auto Club and repeat on what he did last year and go to victory lane. But not in a controversial matter like he did a year ago, where he bumped his teammate Chase Elliott, and that did not catch that got a lot of bad attention for him. All the Elliott fans went after him. But this time around, I think it's going to be in a dominating matter. I believe he's going to lead a lot of laps, and he will lead or will win at least one stage. You heard me there. But second place, though, will be the 45 car of Tyler Reddick. And Tyler Reddick, I believe, is going to be one heck of a driver to beat when he gets comfortable with this new team and organization. He moved from RCR, where he's been at since 2020, to 2311 Racing. And 2311 Racing is a new team in NASCAR, a couple of years in. They got a couple of wins. and they got Bubba Wallace. And Bubba Wallace is a good driver, do not get me wrong. But they brought in Tyler Reddick to be the top driver, if you will, to carry the organization to the next level. Reddick has that potential to do so. He's picked up many wins in RCR. And we all know RCR wasn't really there to get wins year in and year out. But Reddick, when he came to the team, he turned it around and picked up the wins and playoff spots. And I believe with him going to 2311 Racing, he can put them on the map. And what I mean by that is he can win many races, not one or two, many races. And I believe he is a guy that can do it. And I think Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan made the right decision. But is this time going to come this weekend in Auto Club? I don't think so, but can very well happen. A good track for him. He can ride the top line, and that's something he's really good at. As he and Briscoe and Larson, all them dirt drivers, are really good at riding the top, and it's going to be rewarded this weekend in Auto Club. But saying that, in third place, we're going to have Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe is coming off a terrible first two race weekends of NASCAR in the 2023 season. Struggled in the Clash, a track where I thought personally he was going to have a good outing. Was good in 2022, had an issue with the shifter, and it forced him to retire. In the Daytona 500, not really competitive. He was riding in the back for most of the day, and he came up at the end of stage 3, got involved in a wreck. Really didn't get many points. And he's on his back foot right now, heading into race number 2, but it's still early on. I know it is, but he can never start thinking about points. It's never too early to think about that at all. But Briscoe, third place this weekend in Auto Club. I think him and that whole team in Stewart-Haas Racing will take that with open arms because they need a little bit of momentum right now because they're struggling to get it. But fourth place, though, will be Christopher Bell from Joe Gibbs Racing. And I believe he's going to have a breakout year like he did last year. Last year, he picked up 3 wins, if I'm not mistaken. This year, he's going to be at least 4 to 5. And he is going to be a threat in the championship this year. And with very competitive in the Daytona 500, I am liking what I'm seeing here from Christopher Bell. And could he be NASCAR's hot free agent? Time will tell. Honestly, time will tell. Fifth place, though, will be Kyle Busch. Rowdy Kyle Busch. I believe he is going to be very competitive. This is one of his better tracks. And he can go out here this weekend and possibly win the darn race. It was quick in the Daytona 500. If Jimmy Johnson didn't get a little throttle happy at the end, and maybe he would have lived, Suarez would have never spun, I think Kyle Busch would have won the race without a doubt. That restart changed the whole complexity of that race, and it opened up for new drivers to come in and possibly steal the show. But yes, Kyle Busch in fifth place seems kind of reasonable. And my dark horse, though, has to be Austin Dillon. I like Austin Dillon. I always have, but I believe with Kyle Busch coming to that team, I mentioned it in the preseason, it's going to help him out. Not because that he's racing for his granddaddy and Kyle Busch is coming in, he's going to bring in more sponsorship money, that's big, but Kyle Busch as a driver and a human. Kyle Busch is going to teach Austin Dillon the ways to go around certain tracks the proper way because Austin Dillon has been kind of free-handing it, if you will. I know it's kind of critiquing him right now, but Kyle Busch, there's a reason why he has 200 wins in NASCAR in all 3 series combined. And Austin Dillon's not even close to that. But I believe with Kyle Busch helping him out, he's going to pick up a couple of wins this year. And I mean a couple of them. Not 1, not 2, I think 3 or 4. Austin Dillon's going to be that driver. I know it sounds a little crazy right now, but I believe with Kyle Busch, that driver lineup, they're going to be back on the map before you know it, and they're going to be a scary team to go up against. And saying that all, we went through this whole video without a single commercial, hopefully, like the Daytona 500 unfortunately didn't. They had too many commercial breaks. I should have mentioned this earlier, but I have to mention it now. The Daytona 500 was a phenomenal race. Do not get me wrong. There were way too many commercial breaks. I think there were 15 of them. And 11 of them were within the first 150 laps. What are you doing, Fox? This is your biggest race of the year and probably the most important race of the year because it's going to be the most viewed one of the year because it's the crown jewel. And you're going to go out there and show every single commercial in the world like 5 or 6 different times. I don't like this. I really don't. And if you're wanting to really catch the attention of fans out there, I believe you can go out there and sponsor yourself on a race car, or even better, pay Fox to simply go away with the commercial break for 5 or 6 minutes and sponsor that time. Just have your logo in the bottom left corner. I promise you, NASCAR fans will pay attention more to that than they would to an actual commercial, because an actual commercial is ruining the experience and the racing product from people at home. And NASCAR needs to look into ways to change this moving forward, because that was very unacceptable. You do not see none of this in other sports. And NASCAR, what are you doing? But Stenhouse wins Daytona. Auto Club coming up. I believe we'll see Larson, Reddick, Briscoe, Bell, Busch, and Austin Dillon as my dark horse. Weather's not looking promising. Hopefully it changes. Please like and subscribe.